Close your legs to marry men, hooker. Close your legs to marry men. Close your legs to marry men, trash box.
What's up, my Finna Love Sisters? Finna D coming to you all from Finna Team News.
In the world, I'm already out here a husband stiller, and it's just too much. And ain't nobody out here stealing husbands, are they? I would never.
There's too many going around, honey.
It's a lot of single people out here. Last night I saw a lot of single people in the building last night. So I don't think it's nobody want to steal nobody else's problems. I can tell you that, honey. Nobody wants to steal nobody else's problems, honey.
You already know, I told you that's going to be her intro going forward. Even if she gets married to this man after his divorce from his wife is finalized, that will be her intro. Well, Nene Leakes was a guest host on The Breakfast Club with DJ Envy and Charlamagne. Now, she helped co-host the entire show, so she was on there for over an hour. But you already know, we talked about the Real Housewives of Atlanta on this channel, so those are the parts that I'm going to focus on. If you missed part 1 where Nene talked about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, please click the very first link in the description below to watch that video. That's the video where she basically said the ship have sailed. She made it seem like she had an option to go back to Bravo when she doesn't, okay? So if you missed that video, please click the very first link in the description below to watch that video. Fast forward to her second day of hosting, and she had a segment where she talked about the situation on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, this season been filled with a lot of lies, okay? When they actually had real life issues and drama going on that some of them intentionally left off the show, but then got mixed up in accusing people of doing things that they weren't doing. It was just a hot mess. For example, some of the women accusing Candace's husband of, making them uncomfortable or looking at them in a sexual way. And then whenever production showed him at that same event, in that same moment, he's either looking at his phone, looking away, not even paying attention to the person accusing him of looking at them in a sexual and inappropriate way. Whenever Bravo would put the camera on him, it was the complete opposite. So I'm glad that Bravo did that. Now, bringing up the lies told on Candace's husband this season is very important, even though I would not be discussing her clapback in this video. I have a second video coming up on it. It's important to mention that because the whole point is Robin then goes on her podcast with Giselle and basically confirmed the tea that her husband, her now husband, fiance at the time, did have an affair. Chris, Candace, and everyone else got upset. Wait a minute. Some of you had real issues going on in your own household, but yet you chose to reach and create lies in my household. Thank God my wife did not believe the mess and the lies you all were telling. So you can go and talk mess or entertain mess about other people, but then when it comes to your own mess, you want to keep it off the show. It affected you so much that you did not want to talk about it on the show, but then you sat through conversations entertaining lies about somebody's husband. And so Nene, because she's a former housewife, this was a perfect segment for her to lead and talk about. And so during that segment, she basically talked about how Robin confirmed the tea that her husband cheated. And then she said Giselle and Robin are talentless, okay? She was focused on Giselle and Robin, but then she started speaking in general terms. She said how most of the stars are no longer on the different franchises and all of that. And so the guys was like, well, Candy is a star. Candy is famous. And Nene responded, there's a difference between being famous, a star, or being known. She said Giselle and Robin are talentless. So, the guy said they are famous. Okay, what about Candy? And then she hesitated. She made her little noises. She got quiet. The guys repeated it. And then eventually she said, okay, yeah, I'll give it a candy. It's hilarious to me that a woman that we all got to know on The Real Housewives of Atlanta have the nerve to say someone like a Kenya Moore, who's forever a part of history, is not a star. She was a star in here before we even knew who a Nene Leakes was. That's the delusional mess I be talking about. Okay, so Nene did not name drop like I said Kenya is not a star, like she name dropped Giselle and Robin. But when you say none of the current housewives have star power or stars or famous, then you're talking about all of the housewives who are currently on these different franchises. And the reason why she's being called bitter is even when they brought up Candy, they had to say Candy name twice for her to finally admit it and say, okay, yeah, I would give it a Candy. She's famous or she's a star. Not being bitter is realizing that, okay, I might not be here for someone, but I'm still going to stand in my truth. So that's the reason why Kenya Moore could freely say, of course, I would love to see Nene back. She brought a lot to the show. Even though, yes, Nene was and still is a hot mess, she did bring a lot to the show. Okay? Even though she hit below the belt and was disgusting towards Kenya is still able to see what she brought to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. That's the difference. So to sit there and be like, people who were stars before we even knew who you were and pretend like they're not, she's getting dragged again. You say there are Starless, yet you are Peachless and Bravo Checkless. Ooh. And you are doing what on whose show or network or platform? I know that life insurance payout probably but you some downtime, but ain't nobody giving you screen time. So what are we even discussing here? LOL. Yikes. This read was too heavy to lift, child. Stop being an umbrella in the daylight. You had your run. Let the next lineup shine. Child, okay, I'm preaching today. She's the perfect example of blocking your own blessings by being envious. I hope she lets the bitterness go. Exactly. Nene needs to find her niche because hidden should not be it. Nene always gave hater vibes to me. I can't name a time I remember her being genuinely happy for anyone. And you are definitely not a star, Nene. You are more ghetto than any housewife ever. Didn't Greg cheat on you and the fake divorce and second wedding to make money from Bravo? Whew, y'all going in. Basically, you're over here laughing at Robin and her husband's situation when you've been cheated on as well. Nene, shut up, because before you got on Housewives, no one knew you, sweetie. You were starless. And I'm going to flash the rest of the comments on the screen. And there were more social media dragging, but do I really need to sit here and read all of them? No. I know most of you love when I read them, but same old different day. But overall, Nene knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted this to become hot topic. She wanted everyone to talk about her so she can point out, look, see, I'm a star. I came on the show and my clips are going viral. Everyone is talking about it. But you could have still gone viral without having to call people starless and drag people. That's what she's forgetting. If the only time your name is being mentioned is when you are a part of mess or is when you are degrading women or dragging people, that says a lot about you. She could have threw some fun shade and a little kiki here and there without taking this rock calling people starless and all of this, especially people who have worked years for their careers and opened doors for her. So for her to sit there and downplay their careers, it's like, okay, girl, what are you doing? But that's the only part I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people like Candy, like the Kenya, that had careers and were stars before the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's the only part I disagree with. Yes, there's a difference between being known and being famous. And most of these people who are known because of reality TV, they might not be famous. I understand where she was going and what she was saying. But when you start downplaying other people who are stars and been stars before you got here. That's the only part that I'm focusing on. Of course, there are other stars on the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise right now. If I'm not mentioning the name, it's not shade at all. I'm just mentioning Candy because they brought her name in it. And I'm mentioning Kenya because you already know I rock with my girl. So I'm going to always defend and add my little 2 cents. Nene have said worse. So this is nothing compared to some of the things that's left her mouth. Anyways, most of you will be sleeping when I post this video, but I'm going to post it anyways, okay? I'll be back later on in the day with the Candace and her husband response and everything else that's been going on. I'm wishing all of you well and take care. My loves, thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.